Before you automatically judge me the a-hole, hear me out. I'm 21 and my parents are 60, 63. I was born and diagnosed with a myriad of neurological conditions, but never really received the help I needed. The only thing I ever really got was medication, really late in life, and not actual therapy. Instead, I was made to suffer completely at the hands of my social and behavioral challenges and was emotionally manipulated over the smallest of mistakes and made to think I was the one in the wrong. I didn't get actual therapy until I moved out a couple years ago, and even now I still struggle with how I lost so many friends and opportunities when I was growing up, and my family used that as ammunition against me. It was very traumatic. I haven't had contact with them since then and feel much better now. Until I got a call today. My sister had done a personal information search on me and called my number that she found and told me about how my parents are beginning to suffer from arthritis, memory issues, and back pain. She got them on the phone to tell me about how I need to come back home to take care of them. I tell them no. I do not want to take care of people who never took care of me. I owe them jack freaking shit and they deserve to suffer from a lack of care as I did. I hung up afterwards. Now my phone has been blowing up with texts and calls from family members, calling me names and saying how wrong I was and that I should take care of my parents regardless because they did at least provide a roof over my head and food to eat. Now feel extremely bad for saying what I did. Not the a-hole, block all the family members. Not the a-hole. They never helped you, so why should you help them? And children never really owe their parents anything anyway. Parents need to earn the privilege by being good parents and genuinely looking out for their kids. Framing food and shelter as highlights of parenting is like a medal for participation, it's given out for the bare minimum and doesn't recognize actual achievement. Not the a-hole. You take care of them. Hang it. Yeah, really. These flying monkeys care so much they can happily move in with the parents with OP's blessing. Tell them thanks so much for stepping up and go NC with a lot of them. They did the absolutely minimum necessary to keep themselves from getting into legal and financial troubles for neglect. They didn't do those things for you, they did them for themselves. You're right. You don't owe them jack freaking shit. Oh, they need care for their medical issues. Well, so did you, and they didn't give a shit. Karma's a bitch. Not the a-hole. My 26 mom and stepdad got divorced 6 months ago. She doesn't work and couldn't afford rent, so we the family agreed to take turns in letting her stay with us. I own an apartment and live alone and have plans to move my boyfriend of 6 months later. Mom moved in with me a month ago. She can be very conservative. She started acting bossy and had an attitude especially towards my boyfriend. E.g. She took the copy of the key to the apartment that I gave to my boyfriend, saying we haven't been together long to trust him with my key. And gave scenarios of him going in to steal when we're out. She left him waiting outside several times for showing up late, which was as late as 7 p.m. She never agrees to let him stay the night and throws tantrums and get too paranoid when that happens, then complains she couldn't sleep all night knowing there was a stranger in the apartment. She did other things and set ridiculous rules for my friends, but that's another story. So I was getting fed up after talking to her, telling her I'm not a little girl and she had to respect that it's my place. Yesterday I was on my period and was in bed all day. Mom was out all day. She came home and I asked if she was going to cook dinner. I was hungry and had no energy to stand. She said she already eaten out and that I should keep my stomach empty when I'm in period pain. I ignored her and texted my boyfriend. He said he was on his way and brought food and pain medication. This was at 6 by the way. He said he needed an hour, so I decided to rest before he arrived. But he came early, and I was still in bed at the time when Mom opened the door. I woke up to her screaming. I walked out and found her arguing with him at the door, refusing to let him in. She was saying it was late and he should leave. I told her to step aside and let him come in, but she pitched a fit saying there was no way in hell she was going to stay up till the morning because there's a stranger in the apartment. I said he's not a stranger, he's my boyfriend, she said in her eyes. He's a stranger till he does the logical thing and put a ring on it. I got mad and said she was acting like a crazy old woman right now. She reminded me she's my mother, but I reminded her it's my place. She turned and said to him, "You can leave the food here and go home, it's getting late. Besides, she's on her period so she's useless to you tonight." My boyfriend walked away leaving the food and medication. I went off on her and yelled that she was out of line and needed to pack her things and leave cause I don't want her in my place after this stunt. She didn't think I was serious till pulled her bags and called an Uber. She then started crying and guilting me, then left to my brother's place. My brother was fuming, saying I was supposed to host her till end of August and said mom didn't do anything and it was disgraceful that I did this to her over some guy. He's been mad along with the others at my behavior and told me check myself, apologize, and offer to take her in. Not the a-hole, and please let us know how long your brother is able to put up with her. Why do you think Hess pissed? Now he has to deal with her for longer. I have a feeling mom isn't as crazy with her son as she is with her daughter. Lots of conservative cultures treat their son like a prince. Also, the fact that OP's mom said she is useless to her boyfriend while she is in her period makes me feel like even though she is a woman herself, she views a woman's role in the relationship in a very outdated and toxic light. Also, OP's boyfriend is a freaking blessed by bringing her food and pain meds while on her period. That's A+ boyfriend material right there. Edit. Also wanted to add that OP's mom is probably salty that OP and the boyfriend are probably doing the do out of wedlock since her views seem extremely old. She could also be so paranoid of them doing it that she is staying up all night when he is over listening in or just trying to prevent him from staying the night in general or past a certain time of the evening. If it's that case, she's more crazy than we realize. But also I realized OP's mother's comment about periods could potentially be taken two ways. Either my initial reaction. She is only useful if she isn't on her period, so you can use her for sex, which you can also have sex on your period if both people are chill with it, it's just a bit more messy. Or my second reaction after thinking some more. She isn't useful on her period because she can't get pregnant. You can get pregnant on your period because ovulation can be weirdly timed, but this is a common misconception even though it's true that it's uncommon to occur than when off your period. However, the second one would probably come into play by her mom only when OP is married, so right now the first option seems the most fitting. Like someone said below too, she is probably calling your boyfriend trash. Honestly, OP, ignoring the other fact that she kicked out one of your guests from your own home and insinuated that he was trash, she has outdated views that are harmful to not only you, but your current future relationships or even children. Also, say you have daughters, do you want a grandma around who talks like that about her daughter's body and value in a relationship she is serious with? Not the a-hole. Change the locks. Not the a-hole. Well done for finally standing up to her. I hope she learns a lesson about being a choosy beggar. Your house, your rules. Exactly. OP, tell your family you're no longer interested in hosting your toxic mother and she needs to get a job. I mean, this passing her back and forth between homes could last for decades. The woman needs to be more independent and responsible. And nicer. Not the a-hole. I have my daughters Jacqueline, 17, and Juliana, 15, each $150 for school clothes, doesn't include bras or underwear, and $60 for shoes. Partly because I want them to learn how to budget and partly because money is tight and this is all I can give them. I told them that this is all I can afford and if they want anything else, they have to pay for it themselves. Jacqueline wanted to make her money stretch as much as possible and raided clearance racks, looked for sales, and went to Ross and Goodwill. So far, she's gotten 3 pairs of pants, 6 shirts, and 3 pairs of shoes, and she hasn't spent $100 yet. Juliana spent $100 on 2 pairs of jeans and $30 on a hoodie. She came to me on Monday and told me she needs more money for shirts. I told her I can't do that, and if she spent all of the money I gave her, she'll have to pay for the rest of her clothes herself. She has a part-time job, so I know she has enough money. She threw a tantrum because she won't shop at discount stores and doesn't want to pay for her clothes with her money. She's refusing to talk to me, and my mom said I'm being an a-hole. Not the a-hole. You told them in advance. Your job as a parent is to set them up for success, and budgeting is a good lesson. I wish my parents would have done more of that with me. And ignore your mom. They're your kids, not hers. Grandma can give them both more money if she feels so inclined. Grandma better not, as that undermines both mom and the lessons that need to be learned. If she does give money, she had better give them both equal amounts. Not fair punishing the frugal daughter because she's a smart shopper. Not the a-hole. Also, please don't budge on this, otherwise you will be teaching the exact opposite of what you intended to, and it wouldn't be fair on Jacqueline. Just a thought, though, is that Juliana may need a little more guidance considering she's 15 and clearly doesn't know how to budget. Perhaps consider going shopping with her in the future. As annoying as she may find it, a reminder of that's a very nice item, but it will cost 1/3 of the clothing budget you have. Are you sure you want this? Do you want to hold it on the cart and walk around a bit and think about it? Might help her deal with wanting expensive style items. How much experience does your younger daughter have in shopping for herself, as opposed to you buying things for her? I know at that age, I was just beginning to shop without a parent. There is a pretty big difference in experience in handling and budgeting money between 17 and 15 years old, sometimes. Kids don't magically learn how to budget when given money for a purpose. It is a skill that is learned and taught. If you've taught her how to plan her needs, prioritize what she needs, and divide the money to make it last, that's fine. But if you've always been with her and handled the money, just dumping this task on her without expressly teaching the required skills isn't right. Plus, given child labor laws, a 15-year-old has far fewer options for making their own money than a 17-year-old. That's something that a parent needs to keep in mind. A sink or swim situation is a rather bad teaching method compared to actually breaking down the steps of the task and teaching it. You seem to have given two kids with different ages, different levels of experience with money, and different opportunities to make their own money the exact same task, without consideration of their somewhat different stages in life. If you've taken the time to teach your younger daughter these skills in the past so that this situation was a natural progression in her learning, that's fine. If you just handed her money when she's never had to manage a shopping task of this scope before, that's setting her up for failure.